What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video, and as you can see today we are doing duckies. I was so excited because this was a first time client and immediately she was like, I want duckies, point blank period. I was like, I can hook you up, girl, like this is one of my specialties. So you know, we're gonna basically go over application shaping, and I'm gonna save the snowflake design for another video. Okay, of course, before we get into it, you guys make sure you're subscribed, notifications on. Of course, the YouTube emails is still playing, so I do not have a new one. Follow me on Instagram and check the description for a bunch of coupon codes and all of that. Okay, so first things first, when it comes to duck tips, you have to know that the sizing, they run small because of the shape and because of the well right here where I'm putting glue. It's honestly, you're gonna have to size up, so it can be a little disorienting trying to size people when you're used to certain sizing, to make sure it's sidewall to sidewall, because to be honest, there are a lot of instances to where one size will be too big and it's not going to properly glue down, and then like for instance this is a little bit too small. Excuse me, I think you guys are gonna see me try and glue it and I'm realizing like I don't care for the size and change it. So really just play around with it. Try and get as close to sidewall of a fit as possible. There are going to be some nails that may not fit exactly because like I said, if the size is too big, it's okay. For a normal tip, you could just cut the corners, but duck tips aren't necessarily really made the same in that way with the well. So sometimes they will glue on and fit really well, but it might just look slightly smaller, and you can fix that with acrylic. You guys can watch my clubbed thumb nails video for that particular method. You know, just make sure that the acrylic goes down, but yes, try to fit them as close as possible. The thumbs, honestly, this is the biggest size, and you can see like yeah, it's yeah. Anyways, so I will just say it is an adjustment getting used to sizing them. Everyone always asks me where do I get my duck tips. I get them off Amazon. You can literally just not Google, but type them in Amazon. Only some are going to come up as Prime. When I first bought these, there was not very many brands to choose from that were actually not coming from a million miles away and would actually get to me on time. Okay, so I may explore to see if there are more on there. I'm in the process of trying to see if I can get an Amazon storefront, so some of these things I can have there like linked for you guys, since a lot of you guys are always asking me what I use. So yeah, we decided to go ahead and stick with the full tip size. Now somewhere in here, well, I don't think I put it in here or kept it, but I did actually compare a regular tip that I normally use to this duck style tip, and I will say, just imagine like this would be like a medium long length in like standard square tips. So they're not as short as what you would think, but definitely the flare gives them the illusion of being way shorter than, you know, whatever. I have not experimented with doing them like XL style or having them longer than this, which I may try on myself just to see. So stay tuned for that, okay? So pretty much when it comes to shaping, the less you shape, the better. I do have like full duck nail in-depth videos on here about getting a really good shape and all that stuff. This one is just kind of like a general something for you guys to watch because I haven't posted about duckies in a while, but you guys can see the less shape the better. What you're really wanting to do is making sure there are no random I don't want to say lumps and bumps, but you want to make sure the sides are at not a 90-degree angle. I don't know what you would call this. This is like an obtuse shape, if y'all remember about triangles and all that stuff. So you want to just make sure the tip is straight, and you just want to hold your file straight up against the sides, because we just don't want any weird like bubbling to the sides. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. You just want to crisp it up a little bit. Now the problem is if you continue to shape and shape and shape, you're actually going to accidentally get rid of the flare. Okay, if you don't want as much of a flare, you can definitely like, you know, shape more to take it away. I personally don't find the use in that, only because, you know, the flare is the point. I see a lot of people that do duck nails like online and stuff, and a lot of times it looks like a square that just was a little too bulky, rather than like, hey, this is the style of the nail. So as you guys can see, that's what we went ahead and did. Look, normally when I put tips on, you always see me like compare sizes and this and that, but honestly for duck nails, if they're keeping the full tip, oh, here we go, see, it's not actually like too short. It's like a nice little medium long length. But excuse me, what was I saying? Yeah, because they're all, honestly, they're pretty even. They're all like the same type of length, okay? So this is the color we're using. I think this is Out of the Blue. Of course, a not polished color, because it's not polished, it's not nothing. Young Nails for the liquid, and Young Nails for the protein bond, which I already did 2 coats, because that's what the hell Young Nails say to do. And here I am prepping my brush, making sure everything is all good. And of course, I was making a TikTok, and if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, you definitely should. I definitely have some like videos on there. I feel like my transitions are like really good. I'm not even gonna lie. But unfortunately, I did not finish the TikTok for this. I completely forgot. We was talking and chatting and all that stuff. So, so we are fast forwarding because, like I mentioned in the last couple videos, the temperature of the room is cold. And the way my room is set up, I have like an outside wall, meaning like the exit door is like near my room. So on one side of the wall, there's obviously another like business or person, because I am sweet based, and the other side of the wall is outside. So I feel like, you know, it does get a little bit extra cold in my room just because I share an outside wall right there. So I feel like it's a little bit less insulated or whatever, but it does affect the way that the products come together. And it has less of a heat, like the heat reaction that it produces is slower, which means it's slower to harden, which means that it took me longer to do this. So you will see that I did kind of have to edit how long it was taking on each nail, because you guys, I'm not even kidding, this hand took 20 minutes for basic application. And you guys know, for basic application around this length, 10 minutes and you should be good to go, okay? And that's like, that's being very generous with the time, okay? But anyways, you guys can see this is a gorgeous color. This particular client, she drove 3 hours to see me. You know what's crazy? I'm in Sacramento. I have quite a few clients that actually come from Ukiah, so that's about a 3-hour difference. If you don't know where Ukiah is, it's like kind of near Santa Rosa. Like Santa Rosa is like 45 minutes out from Ukiah, from what I'm hearing. And so I am very shocked. You guys, I've told you about a client that I've had since 2020. She drives 3 hours to see me, and now I have like legit 4 to 5 girls now that actually drive literally 3 hours to come and see me. So I'm just like, damn, that is wild. It's really crazy that someone would drive that far just for my work. But it is a small town. Said there's like shops there and stuff, but it's not really all that, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So shout out to Ukiah, and shout out to the girls who is finding me all the way 3 hours away. Like, that's honestly so dope. So y'all, this Taco Bell freezer is so good. I'm trying the Cherry Bliss one for the first time. My man did not lie. This was good as hell. I might have to go and even get another one, because the large size, this is what's too small. They need to be having like Sonic sizes, okay? So with the application, you guys can see that much like stiletto, it's like you don't need as much acrylic. And for stiletto, that's because it's so tapered that too much acrylic will actually cause an imbalance and it will look very unbalanced. But for duck nails, you guys I've told you time and time again, square is one of the strongest shapes because there's the most surface area. But if you want to be technical, duck is actually the strongest shape because there is an increased surface area. And so you don't need a whole lot of acrylic because the shape itself provides a whole bunch of like stability in the nail when you put the acrylic down. So you guys can see from the sides and stuff like that, I don't need a super huge apex at all. I'll say putting the acrylic on for application is super easy, as long as you're not in the situation like me to where your stuff just won't it just won't polymerize. It's just due to, you know, temperature and stuff like that. But I honestly love doing duck. Like, it's such an easy shape to do, which is why it pains me to see how many different ways that it can go wrong. Like, I do see a lot of stuff online to where either, you know, the corners are rounded or the nail is bulky or just different things like that. Because me personally, I feel like this is one of the easiest shapes to execute just because the tip has done all the work. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, yes, people do either bulk up the nail too much with acrylic, And I feel like that's also because duck is a curved shape, okay? Like these tips come how they come. You know, I know you see a lot of people doing like extendos and they'll put the duck tip on top of a straight tip, which kind of changes things. And in my opinion, it kind of gives a look of just like a square that just didn't get all the way shaped, if you know what I mean. But what was I saying? Yeah, I feel like it's because it is like a curved tip that it's tricky for people, because I find a lot of people constantly say that shaping curved tips is so hard, and that's why nobody does them. And I think that's why a lot of these like curved sets or whatever come out a little, they can be a little odd looking if you don't know how to work with them, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, if you really put your mind to it, it's not as hard as it looks. I know I have like really good application and like things like that, but this shape is very forgiving, you guys. Like I said, with this shape, less is more, because the tip already does have to work for you, okay? So what I deleted out of this footage was me going back and forth in the cuticle areas, because child, you can see the consistency of the acrylic, how versus like what I normally am used to working with. And this is me using the same amount of liquid, the same liquid to powder ratio, except for you can clearly just see it's just still runnier and wetter than normal. And so what I was having a problem with is the cuticle areas were getting flooded, and upon cleaning them up, it would like take so much out of the cuticle area. I'd have to go back, add more. Even after shaping, I had to go back and add more in some instances, just simply because cleaning up the cuticle area when this particular problem happens is honestly a pain in the freaking ass, okay? Now, the other hand, I didn't have no problems, for real. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't have no problems, but it was a lot easier, okay? So you can see I'm like really taking my time on the sidewalls with the thumb, because like I said, this is the largest size for the thumb, or for her thumb. Like this is a size 0, and so I need to make sure that the acrylic matches up in the sidewall area, because I don't want any gaps or missing acrylic, and I still have to make up for the side where the tip doesn't all the way touch the entire nail. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? So I have to make sure that's completely done. But like I said, I'm gonna make sure I do my part in applying for Amazon storefront, because there are certain things, like I said, that I do get online that I don't get in my store. There are a couple things I do get off of Amazon, and you guys are typically curious, so I would love to have the storefront there so you guys can go ahead and just look your own selves and just take a look and see. And duck tips are one of those things that I get off of Amazon. Like I said, I don't get much, but some things I do. So here we go. Still trying to get this together, y'all. Like, I had to apologize to my client. I'm like, girl, I'm so sorry. In 20 minutes, we would have already been done by this with this hand. There's no reason this had to take so long. I apologize. So this is the other hand. This is after I filed the cuticle areas and underneath. There's no real C curve, but you know, I always go underneath because it does help with the crispness, and nobody wants any thick tips, okay? So you're gonna see with the shaping, like I said, less is more. So because with the application we stayed so close to the shape, all I'm doing is just enhancing those sides. You can see I'm just making sure there are no weird dents. I'm making sure there's no weird bulges. I want to make sure that, like I said, this is not quite 90 degrees. I want to say it's probably like 115 degrees or something. I really don't know. I'm not a damn geometrist, okay? But not a mathematician, but I do know this is an obtuse angle, okay? We know that much. It's not a right angle. This is definitely greater than 90 degrees. So, yeah, less is more. That is what I can stress to you guys. Making sure the tip is crisp and everything like that is going to be a major part of this shape. And honestly, like I said, I really didn't measure the tips together because I'll be honest with you, the way that duck tips sit, they're going to be pretty even. Now, if you cut them, I would say measure them. But for these, I didn't measure them until like the very end because I knew we're doing minimal shaping and the tips are already pretty much the same type of like length. They all flare pretty much the same, which is the good thing about them, and not having to shape the tips too much because it's already there, you know? So, oh, and we was just talking. Let me tell you, we was talking about nail shops. We was talking about some of the home-based people that be treating people like a chop shop. Okay, because that's not talked about enough. There are way too many girls out there that Yo, they is treating people like this is the chop shop. Like, girl, I thought we was done with that. Like, come on. Yes, so you can see I'm using the same filing technique as I would on Square. It's just I'm doing way less filing because I do not want to get rid of that flare. Okay, I want to keep the flare. And honestly, this set was just honestly so cute. She was my only client for today because I actually took the day off, but she had already booked. So I was like, I'm not a person that likes to cancel or move stuff around or anything like that. So, and I took the day off like probably over a week ago or whatever. And I was like, I'll just leave it. So this set made my day. The fact that I was able to do this. And I went home and passed out for like a good amount of hours, y'all. I was so tired today. But hopefully you guys enjoy watching this set. Damn, y'all, I really need another freeze. That was too good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this set. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do another duck set, and I have to just wait until people actually book it, because you know it's not the most popular thing, and a lot of people don't just like request duck. Like, some people want to try it like real bad, but they're nervous, and I'm like, girl, you see my page, you see my work, or what the hell is you nervous for? It's honestly a top-notch shape. It's right up there for me. It's right up there with Square. Love it. It was so cute and ghetto and classy. Like, I don't know, it was very ghetto fabulous to me. And like I said, the snowflake I'm gonna save for another video, because I'm taking like a close to a week off, the week of Thanksgiving, so I am accumulating stuff now so that I have things to still edit and put out. And the snowflake design, I'm like, you know what, that'll be perfect around that time. I feel like we'll go ahead and save it. Okay, so once again, here's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Okay, and as normal, you guys already know, I will see you guys in the next video.